Hello everyone, welcome to or welcome back to the Front Nine Fitness. Active Health Solutions is partnered with Golf British Columbia, and I'm Anne, and I'm here to bring you a 30-minute mobility and strength fitness class for golfers of all levels, all ages. But I want to remind you to work at your own pace and work at your own level and to be safe. I'm not there to correct and to supervise, so you're going to have to take responsibility to ensure that if you're coming in and out of poses, especially if your head's dropping and your blood pressure's changing, please work at your own safety level and take breaks when you need it, take water breaks when you need it. And thanks and welcome, and let's get started. So we're going to start with high knees. So we have a 30-minute class planned for you. It's going to involve a dynamic warm-up, lots of prehab, lots of mobility, range of motion exercises. I have 4 strength exercises right at the end. Okay, switch it to a bum kick. So that was our high knees. Now we're doing our bum kick. So we'll get you ready to go for golf season. I know that some of the courses have been opening up around British Columbia. I know the course in Prince George is opening up, and I talked to the pro shop today and he said everyone's being so responsible, so congratulations. Let's switch it to a monster walk. So if you want to move, you can. You step forward, but we can also do this in place. We do this across our studio floor when we're able to work out in the studio. So this is opposite toe to opposite hand. Now switch it to the back. You're going to go behind you, kick. That's a little tricky. I'm going to show you from the back. Now today's workout, hopefully you have a book or something you can stand on. You don't need to, but if you want to try it. And I have a short club. Or I have a wooden spoon, but if you had a short club or something you can swing indoors, that would be great. So these are called scorpions. Okay, now we're going to do our ankle press. So it's kind of a lunge position, but you're kind of overdoing it, and you're going past 90 degree on that knee. And this is just to warm up our ankles and our Achilles. And let's switch sides. All right, switch it to a leg swing. So this one's going to be across your body. Oh, I might have to move out away from the wall so I don't blast the wall. Warming up those hips a little bit. And switch legs. All right, next is a side shuffle with a squat. So you're going to just squat and do some shuffle. So you're going to go, hopefully you got enough space, but if not, even if you're just going back and forth, that's fine too. But if we can do a bit of a squat and then a bit of a left-right shuffle. Let's do one more either way. And then this one, you're going to need your chair for it. Now, hopefully you'll be able to see. So I'm getting into a lunge position. So with a little bit of extension, hip extension here, and you're going to get into a lunge. And using that chair if you want, or you don't have to if you have good balance and can do this. And we're going to open up that hip flexor. Now we're going to create some rotation. So ideally, we would have a hand down here, and we're going to rotate and then rotate. But if you need the chair, absolutely use it. So still maintaining that lunge position and starting with a little bit of rotation. And hopefully you're able to start heating up some of those muscles of that posterior chain. Okay, switch sides, shake that off. All right, switch sides. Get into that nice lunge position here. Settle in first. And then we're going to add our rotation. Now, if you can do it with your nice balance, absolutely. And if you need the chair, and ideally what we would like for it to happen is to get down and do it right off the floor. But that's more of a back nine fitness. Let's do a couple more. Creating some rotation. Last one. All right, with keeping with that chair, I might have to get back into frame. Up onto those toes. So this is a calf press. Let's do two more. 1, 2. Now I want you to roll it back onto those heels. Okay, roll it back. And before we switch, let's just kick that foot back and see if you can stretch the top of your foot and the top of that ankle. And you may have to kind of bend and reach a little bit, but we've done a lot of flexion. Now we're going the opposite direction. All right, hip lifts are next. We do these every class. So grounding with that one leg, and let's lift and lower. Now, I promised last week, if you had your book doing your hip lifts, you can do these off of a book or even off of a step or like a bench or anything like that, and you can get a little bit more range of motion because now you can drop it past that floor level. So if you raise up, you can add, especially if you've been doing these hip lifts with me. This is my 6th class. Switch sides. I don't know if you can see I'm on my book, but kind of hard with my little frame here of my little iPad. All right, kick that aside. Now we've done these before, and this is for the glute med, which is the little muscle on the side, the divot kind of on the side of our bums. So we're going to do an in and an out, and then a push. So however you want to do it. I tend to start with the ins, in, out, push. So we have internal and external rotation happening, and then you give it a little push. Last one. Okay, switch sides. We've already done our hip lifts, so we're doing the in-out push. And I find this can get sore in both legs. The one that's creating the stability for this exercise and the one that's doing the work. Let's do 2 more. In-out push. In-out and a push. Okay, wrist prep. So flip that chair around. Oh, I'm bumping into stuff. Sorry. Maybe I'll go this side. Okay, so with your chair, first thing that we're going to do is with hands nice and flat, let's do some forward back. This is for our wrist warm up. Now a few circles. Now you can also do this in a tabletop position on the floor. Go the other direction, or you can also do it in a sort of like a push-up position on the wall. So this was for our wrist prep. Now let's do a few, what else have I got? Cat cow here, okay. And you're going to round, drop your head, and get into an arch position. Lift that head all the way through, arch to the ceiling, and all the way through. Last one. And we're going to spin to the side, and this, we call this one crazy cat. And you're going to side, and I really feel it in those long muscles up my back that connect and anchor to the top of that big pelvic bone there. I'm cheating. I've got my my whiteboard with my little lesson plan. And the last one, let's do a shoulder blade push up so our arms stay extended. And we're just working on not a full cat cow here, but really moving those shoulder blades around. This is a posture one that we really want to make pretty solid. Oh, and the last one is a shoulder thread the needle. So we've done it with nice nice straight arms, but let's do it now holding our shoulder, and we're here and we're going to thread the needle. So some good rotation happening. Then we're going to move to the wall. Switch sides again, up on that hand, up on that shoulder. Let's do one more, and let's move to the wall. All right, so I'm going to be wrestling with a light, so that's all right. So my feet are out about 6 inches away from the wall, and I'm trying to get my back nice and flat. I'm also trying to get my head and my shoulders and my lower back kind of pressed against the wall. So thumbs up overhead, and we're going to see if we can touch. Now we would like to do this without raising and lifting our shoulders to come up. We want those shoulders to stay down and really just raise up overhead. And when I do that, I limit my range of motion. So we want to make sure that we're really trying not to get those shoulders to pop up. So however far you end up going, that's good. We're working on it. Now let's see if we can do it with our arms a little closer together. And if you're, out here, that's fine, but eventually we'd like them to come a little bit closer together, like two number ones, a number 11. That's what we want. Okay, shake that out. Switch it to a wall angel. So palms facing forward. Now for some of us, maybe I'll just scoot over. This is going to be, again, with our lower backs and our heads and shoulders flat. This is far enough. Eventually, we're going to get you up a little bit more. But what we often see is that the higher those hands come up, they pop off the wall, right? So what we're trying to work towards is just a really, like you're a little kid laying in the snow, a snow angel, with all our limbs on the ground. But we don't need to get down to the ground to do this. We can do it on the wall. All right. Before we get to our sweeps, let's do some W's. So the W position, we end up in this position. We want to squeeze, pinch those shoulder blades together, kind of down mid-back, right around in here. So that's what it's going to look like. So as far forward as you want to bend and work against gravity, we're just going to squeeze. That's what it's going to look like. Squeeze. So hopefully it looks like from the back that I'm doing a W. And we'll often do these with bands. So reaching up and then squeezing to try and create some resistance. We actually do a lot of these. And we try and pull in the same plane that we're bent. Ooh, that warms those shoulders up in an awful hurry. Last one on the wall before we grab our golf clubs, our sweeps. So you're going to stagger. So your shoulders against the wall, and you're going to get your hands up at eye height, and you're going to go around and sweep and open. Now, if that's too much, you can do it with your feet together, and then you're just going to draw a nice big circle, open, and try and get to this letter T position, and then sweep it forward. If you need a bit more resistance, you stagger the outside foot forward. Last one on this side. I think is that 4? Again, I'm a terrible terrible counter and a terrible cuer. Okay, switch sides. So I'm going to stagger, and here we go. Open up and sweep it around. You can also do this one on the ground, laying down on your side. But if you're not super keen on getting up and down off the ground, you can do it on the wall. It's just fine. There we go. Grab a golf club. I got to step out of frame. I forgot to bring one, so I'm going to use this one that I found in the basement. All right. First one, external rotation. So hands underneath, holding onto the club head on one end, and you're just pushing it out 90 degrees. And then go the other direction. So I'm going to take this opportunity to see who's joined us. Hello, Huff. Hello, Irene. Hello, Anita. Thank you for joining me. Anita, you'll have to text me and let me know how the course is playing. She's from my course. All right, and then overhead, and we're going to move it back, hopefully, and create pectoralis stretch here. So give it a little stretch. We did this one last time using the wall and stepping forward. So if you'd rather do that, I'm just trying to open up this shoulder girdle muscle. You can do it one at a time. We can do both together. Nice tall postures. Okay, shake that out. Okay, and the next one is a hinge. So I've shown you this one from the side before. Nice flat backs. Now we're really warming up those hamstrings. All right, and this time if you want to go down, and then you're going to roll it off outside one foot and then roll it over to the other side. Gently, and if you can get down, that's great. And if you're kind of down at your knees, I'll take that too. And roll it on up. Wide grip swings. So this is the last one before we're going to move to our wooden spoon or your short club, whatever you've brought, or if you're outside, you can swing with your club, you do it. I would take out my ceiling, so I'm going to use a wooden spoon. All right, switch your brain over, go the opposite direction, and right up onto that follow-through side. Again, this one always clunks a little bit more for me. All right. Put your club down, grab your book if you want to do it with an offset lie and your wooden spoon. So again, I've got a nice thick book, but if you had a yoga mat, that works as or yoga block, I'm sorry. So I have an old yoga block that I could use, but I'm quite happy standing on my old research textbook. So here we go. We're creating an offset lie for ourselves. So thinking about any of the hills on your golf course, using your wooden spoon to get into your nice grip. Now, if you want to try and level your hips and shoulders to try and match the slope that you've created with your offset lie. So you have 1 foot higher. Okay, and now we're going to do your nice Tai Chi swing, nice and slow. It's like a 30-second to 1 minute swing, creating lots of space in your golf swing, hands out away from you, getting a nice turn. Once you get to the top, you start your downswing. And the key now, so I have my front foot up on the block, and I'm going to try and push right up onto it as a follow-through side. Nice and slow up. Hopefully I didn't ding my mic. There we go. And that does get a little awkward as you're trying to follow through up the hill. Try it now, switching the feet. So my back foot, my backswing foot is now on the block or on the book, and I'm going to try this exact same swing. So first of all, level and get those hips when you think about being balanced and being square, and how you match yourself to the lie and the slope. Oh, that was probably a little fast. And start your downswing nice and slow. Lots of extension, lots of focus, concentration. Now this should be easier to get to that front side, follow through side. All right. Now the reason why we're doing this is that we're just trying to work on balance, dynamic balance, as we have not a perfect driving range flat lie. So that's what we're trying to do, is maintain that and train for it, so that when you're out on the golf course, as we're swinging and we're offset, we don't start lateral moving or changing our spine ankle, because that's when we chunk the grass or hit it thin or hit it off the toe, and those are, as we know, big big mishits, which aren't any fun, cost us a lot of strokes. So you can also do that left-handed or opposite hand if that's what you want to do. But I'm going to switch it to our 4 exercises now. So that's something that you can come back to do. So the first one is a side lunge. So with a nice wide stance, your feet are flared out about 30 to 45 degrees, and you're going to track with the knee and the toe in a nice straight line. Then you're going to come up and you're going to go the other direction. So if you had a weight, you could hang on to it here. And again, we want to do between 24, which would be 12 on either side, and 30, which would be 15. You can do multiple sets and more if you like, as golf is a game of muscle endurance, right? You're going to swing a number of times in the course of a 4-hour round, not necessarily muscle strength. So we need good flexibility, we need good muscle endurance, and then when we hit and we have those ballistic one-sided movements, that's the muscle strength. But we can't do that safely if we don't have all the other components working properly. That does hurt. That's what gives us our crazy injuries through our shoulders and through our hips, and especially our lower backs. I have no idea how many I've done. As any of my golf fitters will tell you, I don't count. We put on a timer, we do it for 45 seconds. So starting with our side lunge. Let's do 2 more on either side here. Okay, 1 more, last one. All right, grab your book. Hopefully it's got a bit of weight to it, and you can use a weight if you like, but I want an overhead press. Let's do 12 on either side. So if you did have a little weight, or a water bottle filled up with rocks or sand or anything like that. So this is a single arm overhead press. going to say this is number 11 and 12. Let's switch sides. But even just a little bit of resistance is working on those shoulders. And I want it nice and light. We have tiny muscles that connect our shoulder girdles together in our rotator cuff. That's what gives us, lots of pain, but we need to keep them strong and supple. And when we hurt them, it's a frustrating rehab. It takes a long time to rehab them. So we want to go with light weights and lots of reps. Isn't a bad way to go. We're not training to be bodybuilders. We're training to play golf for 4 hours. So that's our second exercise. Side lunge, overhead press. The next one, 2 more, is a heel press. So again, using your chair. So I'm going to show you 2 versions of this. So in your tabletop position, and you're going to extend back and then bend to 90 degrees. And you're going to press up. Now this requires a lot of hamstring range of motion. So if that's not working for you, you flip your chair around and you do a 90-degree press this way. Okay, so this one doesn't require the hamstring mobility, but it's still getting into that glute and our long muscles of our back that connect together. So as long as you're doing 12 of those, and you want to push straight back with a flat foot. Now switch sides. Okay, switch legs. So if you wanted to try that again, and you can do this from your knees as well. If you want a bit of a modification, you can stand, or you can use a chair, or you can go on the floor. Lots of different ways to do this depending on your level. I must be getting close to 12. Last one. Okay, now this one's a little goofy. With a nice tall posture sitting in our chairs. So leg extension, right? If you were to go to the gym and do a leg extension machine, that's great. Please that's going to help your quads. But what I'm after here is kind of all of the sides. We're going to go leg extension, and then I want to see if you can lift it up a little. So if you want to just do some leg extension here, I don't think I can do 12 of these because it's so much work on that one upper part of that quad. So if you need to break it up, then you're going to do a leg extension lift and then come back down. So 12 of those. Oh, I was kind of flinging there at the last one. I can tell that I'm nice and fatigued on that one. Okay, switch sides. That's 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'm going to add one that has a little breather in there. And I just wanted to point out that the reason why those ones, it's so important to keep those ones nice and strong is because we always have opportunities when we golf to get in and out of traps or come down off of like raised tee boxes. And so anytime we take a big step, when we have to get up here and then push, right? Anything, or come down. So you're up and you have to step down. That's a single leg, almost like a pistol squat. And that exercise that we had just done is going to be important for getting us strong to do that so that we don't lose balance and then stumble out of something. That's why we do that one. All right, how much time do I have? Let's do a nice stretch. Hopefully we got enough balance. So nice tall postures, hands underneath our chairs. Let's stretch our neck. So moving it through your range of motion, but never coming back past vertical. Switch sides, go to both sides. those long muscles that support our great heads, our big brains. And for every inch our heads stay forward, that's 12 extra pounds of strain on our neck muscles and our upper muscles of our back, right? So our, the shoulders. That's not meant to hold like that for hours and hours. And now that we're kind of hunched and sitting and iPadding and all that kind of stuff, it's really creating a lot of neck strain and neck issues for people. And then it brings our shoulders, and then we round forward. So let's stretch on the outside. So a tip for you is when you're sitting watching TV, ramp your head back and go with some nice alignment. Our heads are kind of supposed to be floating on those muscles at the top of our spines, and they aren't. They're poked so far forward that all of those muscles just get very tangled up. Switch sides all day long. A nice rotation stretch, and come to the front of your chair. One leg up, toe up, stretch forward. Hi, Bonnie. Thanks for joining us from Vancouver Island. All right, release, cross it over, and you can open up that hip a little bit. And if you want to create a little bit of pressure with that hand, and then come forward very gently if you've got it. But this might be enough just to kind of dig in to the piriformis. And release. Let's go to the other side. Nice extension. Pop that toe up. Increase range of motion. Hopefully that hamstring's letting go. We did some hamstrings work today. It was even with that tabletop heel press that we had done. Mine was kind of arcing at me a little bit. And release. Cross it over. Create some resistance there. Nice tall bodies. Come forward. Yeah, that's deep in that hip, so hopefully you're feeling that. And release. We're going to turn sideways. Create a lunge position here, and I want you to get into a nice extension, hip extension position, nice tall body. Now, if you need to kind of roll your pelvis under a little bit more, that'll dig more into that hip flexor. And then when you're ready, you go up with that outside hand, and then you're going to tip it back towards the back of the chair. And release. Ooh, that was a good one. Switch sides. Okay, wiggle into that nice lunge position, opening up that hip flexor, getting into that good hip extension position. Reach it on up when you're ready. Tip it back towards the back of the chair. Remember to keep breathing as you stretch. It's easy to hold our breath. And release. Facing forward, let's hands together, push it out, round our heads, round our backs, drop our heads, and raise it up. And open into cactus arms, sweep it all the way through, push, and up we go. Open it up. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate the partnership between Active Health Solutions in Prince George and Golf BC. For next class, again, a lanyard or a band. So a lanyard from a set of keys that you pick up from, a farmer's market or anything like that. Often they'll give them out. The government's given me quite a few different ones. Or a band and your book again, in addition to your chair and your golf club. So thanks for joining me. I will see you back here, same time, 10 o'clock on Thursday. Take care. Be safe, everyone.